Hey everybody, it's Sharon Whiteman again. We're now at tip 9 out of 11. We've adjusted because I keep finding more things that I think are important. I pretty well assume it's just going to be 11 though. So myself and my business partner Steve Partos, we're very excited to be bringing this series of videos to you. Some of it will be a starting point, some of it will resonate for you, some you can, there'll be tips there that just make so much sense that you can integrate today. And definitely we're talking about that continuum of wellness, where 0 is death and 100 is peak wellness. As I've mentioned before, any of us can make changes on that continuum just by our daily choices. The tip I'm talking about now is about lean and healthy body. And if you skip over to our blog after this, businessandwellness.com, there's a whole tab of education on that specific topic. Again, it's a near and dear to my heart topic. I've had a weight challenge all of my adult life, even starting in my teenage years, and it was something that was a great challenge to me and a great source of challenge with my self-esteem. And as I've been studying wellness in the last 13 years, since I jumped ship from Western medicine, as I mentioned before, what I've learned is it's also been a great challenge for my health and a great challenge for my body and its ability to maintain homeostasis and balance that wellness. And there's extensive information now emerging about how, and you would have seen it even on mainstream media, how our lean to fat ratio, when that's imbalanced, we've got too much fat compared to our lean muscle, it impacts our health. It's impacted in so many diseases, so many severe imbalances, I'd say, but also on subtle levels, it's impacting our wellness every day as well, and our body's ability to be in a homeostatic, well balanced, alive, vibrant state. So interestingly, our company that I haven't introduced you to, but I've alluded to a few times, brought out some new technology a few years ago. It's a whey protein technology it's not just any whey protein, it's a cleaved that focuses on the peptides. If you want to learn more about that, let me know. But I see it as my little magic weapon against fat, I can tell you. It's really made a huge difference for me. Again, like some of these points I've been talking to you about, I'm a work in progress. But I lost 56 centimeters in 9 months, and I've maintained that loss for 2 years. My schedule got quite busy in the last 2 years with the birth of twins. So I haven't been able to sustain looking after myself really well in that department, but I commit to you that it's my next commitment to myself to prioritize. So what does that mean? I guess as far as immediate steps you can take from a wellness tip point of view is eat healthy, like what we spoke in the last time. Eat naturally, minimize processed foods. The other area to learn about is about our carbs specifically. And there's science coming out of both Canada and Australia that's now peer-reviewed and accepted globally, something called low glycemic indexing. You might have seen it, and you'll know that it's science that's recommended, or that's accepted now, because so many, even cereal packages, all the carbohydrate companies, even your muffin companies, they're now offering low GI choices because it's what the consumer is asking for. And basically, low GI carbohydrates mean that they're harder to digest and they don't spike your blood sugar, which science has shown us in a super simplified explanation that when our blood sugar spikes, our body reacts in sort of a protective mechanism, and it stores what it can. It increases its fat storage. That also causes damage long term, and the spikes cause damage to our pancreas and our ability to build and secrete insulin. Ultimately our body over time is very damaged by up and down blood sugars. So eating things that don't spike your blood sugar, especially in the carbohydrate department, are really important. So what are low GI carbs? Well, high GI carbs are anything like white bread, white potatoes, and low GI ones they're harder to digest. They have more whole grains. They ultimately have more nutrition as well, but that's not what low GI is actually about. The other thing beyond low GI, if you're looking at wanting to have a healthy balance of lean to fat ratio, is to, beyond the shopping choices we covered, and beyond avoiding toxins, because toxic load is another factor in our body's challenges in letting go of fat cells, because often toxins are stored. They're used as little storehouses or closets for toxins. And if we've got too much toxic load, our body will just respond accordingly and say, I'm hanging on to these fat cells. There's no way you're getting rid of this. I don't have the resources to look after the toxins that are stored there. In addition to that, you'll want to have take a look at your food portion sizes. Again, remember I talked about having healthy snacks in the cupboard. Make sure you're having protein typically. So we all have a little bit different metabolisms, but be creative in the amount of protein you add, and add protein snacks to minimize that place where you get really, really over hungry and then overeat. The other thing is really not just from a health point of view, but from looking after your body, make sure you have protein in your breakfast. It's the best way to start your day off and to start your metabolism on the right step from processing foods over the day. The other thing is, if you've got a long-standing challenge, you may need to give yourself a period of time. I know for me, I was more strict and more diligent at the start because I'd had a history. I haven't dieted really for 20 years from a calorie point of view. I've focused more on healthy eating, but I did have a history early on of quite extreme calorie dieting and low-fat dieting because those were the norm and the expert recommendations back in those times. So with that history, you can impact your metabolism, and your body might still be in a sort of famine storage type mode. And sometimes to flip that famine switch, you need to be quite strict, and choose only the extremely low GI foods and have lots of proteins and regular, say, 5 snacks a day. And a bit of activity too is important. We'll be talking about activity in its own right as one of the next steps, but regular activity, not to extend yourself beyond, what your capability is. You don't want to, again, think back to, chunking for success. At one of the earlier tips, I think it was tip 3 or 4, where you don't want to throw the baby out with the bathwater. So don't start on an exercise regime if it's not been a comfortable area for you. So definitely be very sensitive to your needs in that department. So yeah, losing body fat and eating low GI, eating to your body type, are really important for wellness and giving your body the best chance to maintain that well-being. So looking forward to seeing you again in our last couple tips. Thanks for stopping by, and once again, we'll look forward to seeing you on our Facebook page or our blog, businessandwellness.com. Thanks for being here, guys. Talk to you soon.